On the heels of Mayweather Promotions CEO Leonard Ellaby calling for a rematch between Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman actually comes out and challenges Manny Pacquiao himself. If a rematch takes place, where does that leave Errol Spence and Terence Crawford? Tap in.
All right, I'm ready. They love when I was down, now they see I bounce back. Now they all in their feelings. My partner told me, King, don't worry about that. Said it's time to make a killing. It's a new day, getting new money, but I don't with new. I'm just sticking to the business and the money is the mission, about to stack it to the ceiling. Now they all in their feelings. So you mad, bro? Now they all in their feelings. Tell me got them all in their feelings. All in their feelings. So you mad? Now they all in their feelings. Tell me what you mad for? All in their feelings. All in their feelings. It's a new day. They all in their feelings. Money, but I got them all in their feelings. All in their feelings. Now they all in their feelings.
It's been a couple weeks since your fight.
Yes, sir.
You're healed up. Your face looks good.
Yeah, we've been good, man. I'm ready for the rematch.
You want a rematch?
I'm ready for the rematch, man.
Wow. I mean,
Welcome back, fight fans. It's your boy King with King Boxing Talk. I got a great one for y'all. But first, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. That way you can get all the notifications for all the new videos that I drop on the channel. And for everybody that wants to help the channel, you want to help the channel grow, all I ask is that you share the videos on your social media platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter. Let's dive right into it. So it looks like Keith Thurman, PBC, Mayweather Promotions, it looks like they're all pushing for a Manny Pacquiao Keith Thurman rematch. Now, we kind of got a sense that this was coming. We kind of got a hint that this was coming. I think it was about a week and a half ago where Mayweather Promotions CEO Leonard Ellaby, he came out and he stated that if it were up to him, he absolutely would not put Manny Pacquiao in the ring with Errol Spence if it were up to him. It's interesting that he says if it were up to him, he wouldn't put Pacquiao in the ring with Thurman, because we know that he's the CEO of Mayweather Promotions. We also know that Mayweather Promotions and Al Heyman, they are in cahoots. They're basically together in business. They are business partners. Floyd Money Mayweather, the founder of Mayweather Promotions, obviously, and the CEO, Leonard Ellaby of Mayweather Promotions, they have a big say-so in the deals that go on with Al Heyman and PBC. And the reason why that's significant is because Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao, they're both signed to Al Heyman and PBC. And if you remember, Floyd came out with a post aimed towards Manny Pacquiao, basically letting him know that I'm your boss. I sign your checks, you know. So that just goes to show you how much Mayweather Promotions, how much influence they have in what's going on with PBC. So you have the CEO of Mayweather Promotions saying that if it's up to him, Pacquiao is not getting in the ring with Errol Spence. And I find that interesting for two reasons. One is because, you know, if Pacquiao's not getting in the ring with Errol Spence, what is Errol Spence gonna do if he's successful against Sean Porter? You know? The second reason why I find that interesting is because, you know, Leonard Ellaby, he says if it's up to him, Pacquiao's not getting in the ring with Errol Spence. He said that the reason behind that is because he loves Manny Pacquiao. He cares about Manny Pacquiao's health. And I find that interesting because I remember a lot of the Errol Spence fans attacked Terence Crawford. They attacked Bob Arum. They attacked Top Rank when Bob Arum came out and made a statement, and he said that he didn't give Terence Crawford the fight with Manny Pacquiao because he cared about Manny Pacquiao's health. I need y'all to keep that same energy, you know. Leonard Ellaby just said the same thing. He basically just said the same thing. He said, I love Pacquiao. And he understands that Pacquiao is coming of age and he cares about Pacquiao's health. So he doesn't want to put Pacquiao in the ring with Errol Spence. So all of you Errol Spence fans, keep that same energy. And don't get it confused. I'm not an Errol Spence hater. I rock with Errol Spence. I support Errol Spence. I'm going to get to that later. But anyways, so you have this potential rematch that obviously Mayweather Promotions is pushing for. The CEO, Leonard Ellaby, is calling for this rematch. This was about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago that he was calling for it. Just yesterday, TMZ called up with Keith Thurman himself, and Keith Thurman says he wants the Manny Pacquiao rematch. He calls out Manny Pacquiao. He even goes as far as to say he's willing to travel to the Philippines just to get a sit down with Manny Pacquiao so that they can start negotiating the rematch. Now, as far as the rematch goes, I love it. I think it's a great fight. The first fight definitely lived up to the hype. It surpassed expectations. Keith Thurman came into the fight, and basically Keith Thurman said himself, Keith Thurman said, when I fought Manny Pacquiao, it wasn't the same fight as Pacquiao versus Broner. He says, when I fought Manny Pacquiao, it wasn't the same fight as Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather. I have to agree 100%. Keith Thurman came into this fight and he made it an action-packed fight from round 1 to round 12. Round 1 to round 12. Now, me personally, I didn't see a controversy as far as the outcome of the fight. I think it was a split decision. If you go back on my channel, you'll see that I called a split decision. I predicted a split decision, but when the fight actually took place, me personally, I thought it was a unanimous decision. I thought Pacquiao won that fight convincingly. Keith Thurman came on strong in the second half of the fight, but he didn't do enough, to make it to where fans could say that he got robbed of a decision. I think everybody knows that Manny Pacquiao won that fight. Keith Thurman knows that Manny Pacquiao won that fight. However, I still think a rematch would be bigger than the first fight just because of the action of the first fight. It was a high action packed fight that I'm sure fans would love to see again. I think they said it did what was it, about 400,000 pay-per-view buys. I think the rematch would do more than that, and that could be the reason why Mayweather Promotions and PBC, Al Heyman, they're pushing for this rematch because they know it's gonna make good money once again. It made good money the first time, and they know that it will make even more money the second time. So I'm all for it. If they're gonna do the rematch, I'm all for it. I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna support it. It's gonna be a great fight, just like the first one. However, what I really wanted to dig into, are y'all with me now? Are y'all with me now? What I really wanted to dig into, and let's be clear, I am not an Errol Spence hater. I just said that. I'm not an Errol Spence hater. I support Errol Spence. This isn't an Errol Spence hate video. This isn't a bash Errol Spence video. This is, let's talk about the facts. let's talk about the landscape of how everything is really unfolding and playing out. So, Errol Spence, he once said, go back, do your homework, do your research, look at old videos, look at old interviews. Errol Spence, out of his mouth, said, if Terence Crawford is the big star on Top Rank, and be clear, Errol Spence was talking about when Pacquiao was still signed with Top Rank. He was still signed with Bob Arum and Top Rank, Pacquiao. Errol Spence said if Terence Crawford is supposed to be the top guy at Top Rank, if he's supposed to be this new star that Top Rank is going to push, if he's supposed to be the guy that Bob Arum is looking out for, and Bob Arum has Terence Crawford's best interests at heart, why didn't Bob Arum give Terence Crawford the Manny Pacquiao fight? Why did Bob Arum give Manny Pacquiao? Why did Bob Arum give Jeff Horn the Manny Pacquiao fight and not Terence Crawford? If Terence Crawford is the top guy on Top Rank, if Terence Crawford is supposed to be the new face of Top Rank, why didn't Bob Arum give Terence Crawford that fight? Man, look at where we are today. Manny Pacquiao leaves Top Rank. He signs with PBC. Errol Spence has been with PBC for what, 6 or 7 years? And for a while, Keith Thurman, he was the top guy on PBC. He was the head honcho. He had that 22-month layoff. He was stripped of his WBC belt. Sean Porter picked it up against Danny Garcia. Keith Thurman was inactive. And while Keith Thurman was inactive, Errol Spence Jr. emerged as the top welterweight on PBC. Errol Spence was supposed to be the poster child for PBC. You're the man, right? You're the number one welterweight signed on PBC. So peep this. Manny Pacquiao leaves Top Rank. He goes to PBC. You beat Errol Spence. Errol Spence fights Mikey Garcia. Manny Pacquiao comes to the fight here in Dallas. He sits ringside. After the fight, Errol Spence beats Mikey Garcia. Manny Pacquiao gets in the ring. Errol Spence calls Manny Pacquiao out and says it would be an honor to fight you next. Errol Spence called out Manny Pacquiao live on pay-per-view in front of the whole world. Manny Pacquiao gets in the ring. Oh, it's up to my promoter. I think, why not fight Errol Spence? We get the fans a great fight. You know how Manny Pacquiao gets. You know how he be talking. So Manny Pacquiao gets in the ring and he says, why not? Why not? Let's make the fight happen. But we all seen what happened. He kicked Errol Spence to the side. There was nothing that Al Hammond and PBC could do about it. And Manny Pacquiao goes on to fight Keith Thurman. But before we even get there to Manny Pacquiao fighting Keith Thurman, before we even get there, earlier in the year, Manny Pacquiao also fought Adrian Broner, who is also on PBC. So, Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao joins PBC. And out of the PBC fighters, you are supposed to be top dog on PBC. Adrian Broner got his crack at Manny Pacquiao. Keith Thurman got his crack at Manny Pacquiao. If you are successful against Sean Porter, Everybody is wanting to see Errol Spence fight Manny Pacquiao, but it looks like for a third time, since Manny Pacquiao has signed with PBC, it looks like for a third time, Manny Pacquiao just may be passing up on Errol Spence. Al Heyman and PBC just may not be able to deliver that fight to Errol Spence. And Manny Pacquiao may be fighting Keith Thurman for a second time. So you see how the tables have turned. Errol Spence said, "Oh, why didn't Terence Crawford get the fight with Manny Pacquiao when they were signed on the same network?" At the time, it was HBO. HBO since then has gone out of business, but at the time, Errol Spence was like, they fight on the same network. Why didn't Bob Arum make the fight for Terence Crawford with Manny Pacquiao? Now you have to start asking yourself, Earl, what is PBC really doing for you? What is Al Heyman really doing for you? You've been with PBC for what, 6 to 7 years? Since you've been with PBC, you've called out Floyd Mayweather, you've called out Manny Pacquiao, you've called out Danny Garcia, you've called out Keith Thurman, you've called out Sean Porter. As far as the PBC welterweights go, the biggest name on the PBC roster that Errol Spence has fought is a Lamont Peterson. And that was a Lamont Peterson to pass his prime, a beat up Lamont Peterson. So you have to ask yourself, and all of you Errol Spence fans who just say Terence Crawford has to sign with PBC to get these big fights, ask yourself, what has PBC really done for Errol Spence? Out of the top names in the welterweight division, how many has Errol Spence fought? Yeah, he got the Mikey Garcia fight. That was huge. He fought Kell Brook, but when he fought Kell Brook wasn't a PBC fighter, right? So that's really irrelevant. Errol Spence had to go way over to England to fight Kell Brook. Kell Brook was not a PBC fighter. But to get back on topic, the tables have turned. Errol Spence has been calling for this fight with Manny Pacquiao. And I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm trying to let y'all know, Manny Pacquiao, he's not going to fight Errol Spence. He's not going to fight him. So, if Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman fight for a second time, and if Errol Spence is successful against Sean Porter, and I say if because I'm not like everybody else. I'm not writing Sean Porter off. You listen to a lot of YouTube channels and everybody is just like it's a done deal that Errol Spence is going to whitewash Sean Porter. Absolutely not. I'm here to tell you that Sean Porter is a dog. He gonna come into this fight. See, and that's the thing. Errol Spence, going back to what has PBC done for him? What fights have PBC given him? PBC has not put Errol Spence in a ring with a guy like a Sean Porter. Sean Porter is gonna be relentless. Sean Porter is going to be like a little pit bull. So no, I'm not writing Sean Porter off. Yes, I believe Errol Spence in the end ultimately will come out with the victory. But I'm not completely writing Sean Porter off. I'm still giving that thought, actually. I'm not even going to say Errol Spence is coming out with the victory. I'm still giving that more thought. I gotta go back and watch some more film. Because for me, this is a 50-50 fight. But anyways, as I was saying, if Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao rematch were to happen, and if Errol Spence was to be successful against Sean Porter, well, he's successful against Sean Porter, but Keith Thurman and Pacquiao, they're going to do a rematch. That's going to happen at the earliest, maybe springtime. Meanwhile, the Spence-Porter fight is in September. So, the rematch between Pacquiao and Thurman, if that doesn't happen until the springtime, Spence needs a new dance partner. And so I'm thinking that, actually a rematch between Pacquiao and Thurman is the best thing to happen to give us what we want, which is the rematch. Which is the big fight, the mega fight between Crawford and Spence. Because at that point, if that rematch happens, Errol Spence, he's either gonna have to say, hey, you know what? I have to go ahead and fight Crawford. Because, he would have just beaten Sean Porter, the other champion. And then Keith Thurman and Pacquiao would be tied up. The only other champion that's left is Terence Crawford. But if y'all paid attention, this was funny to me. If y'all paid attention, it was sometime in the first fight between Pacquiao and Thurman. Oh man, I can't remember if it was after the fight or before the fight, but it was that weekend. It was that weekend of the fight. It was either before the fight or after the fight. Errol Spence was in Vegas. Reporters caught up with him and he started talking about his options if he doesn't get the Manny Pacquiao fight next. He throws out Danny Garcia. He says, and yeah, I got the Crawford fight. He said, I got the Crawford fight. He said, I would use the Crawford fight as leverage if I don't get the Manny Pacquiao fight. But he also says, I still have Danny Garcia. He said, even though Danny doesn't have a belt, Danny's a big name, and I want to fight the big names in the welterweight division, which, I commend that. I understand that. But if one guy has a belt and the other guy doesn't, you need to take the guy with the belt. And I really feel like he threw that out there because he's prepping himself for a situation to where he doesn't get the Pacquiao fight. And I don't think he's ducking Crawford. I don't think he's scared of that fight. I just think he doesn't want that fight right now because he wants to build his name. He wants to build his brand so that he can be the clear-cut A side. I get it. So I think he threw out Danny Garcia's name to let us know. He basically let us know then, back the weekend of July 20th, he let us know then that if he doesn't get the Manny Pacquiao fight, don't be surprised if he pass on Terence Crawford and go and fight Danny Garcia. Because he said out of his own mouth, Danny Garcia, he doesn't have a belt, but he's still a big name. So, it's going to be real interesting to see what happens. And I'm hoping that a rematch between Pacquiao and Thurman is going to give us what we want, which is Crawford versus Spence. That's the fight to be made. But like I said, Spence, he threw out that little hint that pump your brakes. You still might not get it early 2020. Now, me personally, I think we're going to get it 2020. We just might not get it early 2020. Spence, he did say that before he moves up to 154 pounds, he's going to fight Terence Crawford. And as long as Errol Spence hasn't faced defeat, and as long as Terence Crawford hasn't faced defeat, I think Errol Spence, you know, like I said, I like Errol Spence. I support Errol Spence. To me, he comes off as a guy that's going to keep his word. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to keep his word, and I think that fight will happen, Crawford-Spence, before Crawford moves up to 154. The question is, though, if Pacquiao-Thurman has a rematch, will we get Errol Spence fighting Danny Garcia early 2020? Or will we get Crawford-Spence early 2020? In my opinion, I think we're going to get Crawford-Spence in late 2020. Spence is still going to pass on Crawford, and he's going to look to fight someone else like a Danny Garcia, as I just mentioned. But, you know, it is what it is. I can't wait to see what happens. I'm looking forward to September 28th. Make sure you tune in. Errol Spence versus Sean Porter, live at the Staples Center. Sean Porter's been talking a big game. Sean Porter said he's bringing all the stars out, all the celebrities. I can't wait for this fight. It's gonna be a dog fight, man. And I'm telling y'all right now, for all y'all that think Spence is just gonna punish Porter, it's not happening. This is, for the first time ever. Well, it may not be the first time, but we're gonna see Errol Spence bleeding in this fight. I guarantee you. But anyways, that's all I got for y'all. Please, if you enjoy the content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you can get all the notifications on all the new videos that I post. And again, like I said, the best way to really support the channel is to share the video on your social media platforms, your Facebook, your Twitter. Much love. I appreciate it. Sincerely yours, King, and I'm gone. So I haven't been on YouTube much lately. I originally created this channel for music. I was once an aspiring artist, but through life's twists and turns, pursuing music is no longer a dream of mine. However, I will still upload new music every now and then. I am working on a new album. It's called In Case You Forgot. But constantly putting out new music is a thing of the past for me now. On this channel, I will be focusing mostly on boxing talk. So if you are a fan of music, hip-hop in particular, or if you're a boxing fan, please tap in. When I say tap in, I mean hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can get all the notifications for all new videos that I drop on the channel. And last but not least, I want to shout out the channels that inspired me to start giving my thoughts and views on what's going on in the boxing world and reporting some of the breaking news of what's going on in the boxing world. So shout out to those guys: Dante's Boxing Nation, Boxing Ego, Blue Blood Sports TV, Goodfella Sports TV, Famous Athletics, and Gym Boxing. Salute. There's a lot of other channels that I watch and get my boxing knowledge from, but these are the guys that I literally watch and listen to every single day. So be sure to subscribe to all those guys as well. They put out great content every day. And like I said, man, just tap in, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and I'm out.